If you dropped a modern person into the Stone Age, they might bring thousands of years of knowledge with them: science, math, history, a phone full of information, maybe even a college degree, and still lose an argument to a child about which berry will ruin their day. Because modern humans love to think we are the smartest humans who ever lived. We have satellites, electricity, medicine, the internet. We can send a message across the planet in 1 second, order food without moving, and ask a tiny rectangle how to spell necessary for the 400th time. Clearly, we are geniuses. But here's the uncomfortable question. Are we actually smarter, or are we just surrounded by smarter tools? Because if you took away electricity, supermarkets, clean water, GPS, medicine, roads, clocks, money, and everything with a password, how smart would you look? Today, we are asking, were ancient humans smarter than us? And the answer is not. Yes, they were secret cave geniuses, probably. The answer is stranger. Ancient humans were not smarter at everything, but in their world, most of us would look completely clueless. Not because we are stupid, because intelligence depends on the test. And for most of human history, the test was not, can you answer emails politely? The test was, can you stay alive? Let's start with a stone. To a modern person, a stone is mostly something you trip over and then blame personally. To an ancient human, that same stone could become a knife, a scraper, a hammer, a spear point, a tool for cutting meat, breaking bones, shaping wood, working hides, and solving problems that did not come with a tutorial. And making a good stone tool is not just hit rock with other rock. That is how you make gravel and disappointment. A skilled toolmaker had to understand material, angle, force, shape, and purpose. Hit too softly, nothing happens. Hit too hard, the stone breaks wrong. Hit at the wrong angle, congratulations, you invented trash. Some ancient techniques required planning the shape before the final strike. That means seeing the tool inside the stone before it existed. A modern person might look at a rock and think, rock. An ancient toolmaker might think, knife, if I strike here. Scraper, if I prepare this edge. Useless, if Kevin touches it. Sorry, Kevin, you're not ready. That is the first thing modern people often miss. Ancient intelligence was not abstract. It was practical. It lived in the hands, the eyes, the memory, and the tiny decisions where being slightly wrong could mean going hungry. Now try the next test. Food. Modern humans are very confident around food. We can identify thousands of products. We know the difference between normal cereal, healthy cereal, cereal pretending to be healthy, and cereal that is basically dessert wearing a fitness costume. But put that same person in a wild landscape with no labels, no packaging, and no search bar. Suddenly, lunch becomes a chemistry exam with consequences. Which plant is edible? Which one is medicine? Which one is poison? Which one is safe only if cooked? Which mushroom is dinner? And which mushroom is a brief but intense meeting with your ancestors? Ancient humans had to read landscapes in a way most of us do not. Where water might be, which tracks were fresh, which plants appeared in which season, what birds were doing, what a smell meant, what weather was about to change. They were not walking through nature. They were walking through information. The ground was a page. The forest was a map. The animals were leaving messages. Meanwhile, a modern person enters the same landscape and says, is there Wi-Fi? That does not mean we are less intelligent. It means our intelligence is trained for a different world. We can read traffic signs, warning labels, social cues, bank apps, school systems, job interviews, and the sacred modern ritual of pretending to understand printer settings. Ancient humans could read stone, fire, water, animals, plants, weather, and tracks. Different world, different test. And if you train for one test, then get thrown into the other. You can look very dumb very fast. Now let's talk about memory. Ancient humans did not have Google. No saved locations, no search history, no forgot password, no beginner guide called How to Survive Winter Without Dying, updated 2026. Knowledge had to live in people, in stories, in practice, in watching older people do things correctly before somebody confidently ate the wrong leaf. A child in an ancient group might know things many modern adults would miss. Which berries are safe, which wood burns well, which insects mean water nearby, which tracks mean danger, which plant you should absolutely not put in your mouth, no matter how organic it looks. That child might not know algebra, but in that world, that child might be more useful than a modern adult with a laptop, 3 degrees, and no charger. Because intelligence is not just information, it is useful information in the right situation. And ancient humans lived in a world where knowledge had to work immediately. You could not say, let me research this predator and get back to you. The predator is already here. Please conclude your research. Then there is group intelligence. We often imagine ancient survival as one heroic person standing on a hill with a spear. Very cinematic, probably dead by Wednesday. Humans survived in groups, and groups are complicated. You need trust, sharing, teaching, cooperation, conflict control, childcare, reputation. You need to know who is reliable, who is angry, who is injured, who knows the route, who can make tools, and who should never be left alone with the fire. In a small group, your personality was not just a vibe, it was survival equipment. If you were selfish, reckless, lazy, or impossible to work with, everyone knew. There was no new city, knew me. Your group remembered forever. So ancient intelligence was not just about making tools or finding food. It was also social. Who do you listen to? Who needs help? Who is pretending they know what they are doing? When do you lead? When do you share? When do you shut up? A skill modern humans continue to develop. Slowly. Now, there is a trap here. It is tempting to say ancient humans were smarter than us. That sounds exciting, but it is too simple. Ancient humans did not have modern science. They did not understand germs like we do. They did not have antibiotics, surgery, satellites, electricity, weather forecasts, or emergency rooms. A modern doctor knows things no ancient healer could have known. A modern engineer can build things no Stone Age toolmaker could imagine. A modern child can learn about atoms, planets, dinosaurs, and black holes before lunch. That matters. Modern humans are not stupid. We are standing on an enormous pile of accumulated knowledge. The problem is that we sometimes confuse that pile with our own personal intelligence. You can use a phone, but could you build one? You can buy bread, but could you find grain, process it, make flour, control fire, and bake it without a kitchen? You know where the grocery store is, but if the store vanished, would you know where food begins before it becomes rectangles? Modern life makes us powerful by surrounding us with systems. Ancient life demanded that more of the system live inside the person. So were ancient humans smarter than us? Not exactly. They were smart in ways most modern people no longer have to practice. They were specialists in survival, tools, memory, fire, landscapes, animals, plants, weather, and group life. They did not need a productivity app to remember what mattered. If they forgot, winter reminded them. And we are specialists too. We navigate jobs, laws, traffic, money, screens, passwords, and social situations so strange that no Neanderthal could have predicted them. Imagine explaining a Zoom meeting to an ancient human. So everyone is trapped in little glowing boxes, and one person keeps saying, "Can you hear me?" They would not think we are advanced. They would think we are cursed. And honestly, fair. The real answer is this. Ancient humans were not primitive versions of us. They were fully human minds trained by a different world, a world where intelligence was measured by whether your knowledge worked. Could you make the tool, find the food, read the track, keep the fire alive, help the group, avoid becoming a cautionary story? In their world, they were not stupid. They were experts, and most of us would be the confused beginner asking if the poisonous berry is gluten-free. So maybe the question is not, were ancient humans smarter than us? Maybe the better question is, smart at what? Because intelligence is not one trophy that one age gets to keep forever. It is a relationship between a mind and a world. Their world was brutal, beautiful, dangerous, and deeply complicated. They understood it because they had to. We understand ours because we have to. But if you ever feel superior to ancient humans because you have a phone, a fridge, and the ability to order noodles from a couch, just remember, take all of that away. Drop yourself into their world, and the smartest person nearby might be a child pointing at your lunch and saying, "Please do not eat that."